This video is very specifically for my girls who have been abandoned by their fathers. Now, one thing is really prominent to me that I've realised over the years and also witnessed many times is that as South Asian women, our identity is intrinsically attached to the men in our lives. We are almost molded around serving each male entity that enters our life in different phases. And the first one happens to be our father. Now, we have very specific psychological attachments with our parents. They provide us a sense of safety, a sense of belonging, a sense of entitlement for love and care and affection. And we very much become, our characters are defined very much so by how our parents raised us. So if you're one of those girls whose fathers left you, especially at a young age, there's a few things I want you to know from my heart. As someone who experienced this at the age of 12, it completely and utterly shattered my worldview on life. It shattered the way I perceived men, and it automatically put me in my masculine energy. And I use that term because that's what people tend to understand. I was the go-getter. I put a roof over my own head. I ensured that I picked myself up from my failures and got my education. I then got myself married. Then I got myself divorced. So in all these elements of life, in a healthy or household, if you like, the father is there as a backbone to their children. Children feel a lot less fear and tend to make less emotionally driven decisions in life because they know they have a backbone in a father figure. And as someone who didn't have that when I entered into my teenage years, I absolutely resented the world and life. And being a Muslim woman, I resented Allah because of that. I thought that He was punishing me by taking my father away. When actually, sometimes because I can't cover every single scenario for every single person, so please don't say not everybody, because we know it's not everybody. It's a very specific video that people make. We only have 10 minutes. So when a father figure makes a decision to leave you behind, that really affects the view that you have of yourself. Your self-esteem is directly altered by this decision, because these two people, your mum and dad, decided to bring you on this earth for their own choice. And you are born almost with this expectation to be looked after, which is absolutely natural and normal. And when your expectations are crushed at such a young age, it starts sending you off into a very negative space. And I used to think the world's against me, or I had to hold up this really heavy guard to ensure nobody else harmed me along the way. And I resented all of that. I resented that I had to go and get my own money to put a roof over my head when I was at an age where people should be looking after me. I resented the fact that I had to go and get my own career. I resented the fact that I had to independently make decisions and run my own home. And now at this age, 20 years later, after the fact, I have come to realize, and I've learned from my exploration of Islam, that when your Qawam, when your wali is not available, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala automatically takes that place. Now, what's the job of a wali? To protect you, to guide you, to help you grow and reinforce your personality, which inevitably increases your confidence, which then leads to you having a more secure sense of self-esteem, is to prepare you for the world ahead. And now when I look back, all those resentments, shukr alhamdulillah, have disintegrated away, because I came to realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the whole time was training me. And I felt so contradictory in my behavior and my personality towards my culture. because it was like, oh, she's so masculine. Oh, she's, she's such a feminist. Oh, she's doing everything herself and she needs a man to come and do it for her. And when I explored Deen more and more myself, and I'm still very much on that journey, I came to realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants his girls, his women, his daughters to be independent, not only financially, but to think independently. He wants them to be able to qualify the people that come in and out of her life, including a potential husband. You should be able to understand how to navigate yourself in this world without looking left and right and relying on someone else to come and save you. It is your right as a woman to ensure that the things that you need in place to put your own psychological and physical security in place will actually enhance your femininity, because you won't be in defense mode. You won't be in constant rage and anger and fear that the world is coming to get you, because you have established strong psychological boundaries for yourself. Every single hardship you go through, the worse they are, the more hikmah and love there is in there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because without you having struggled emotionally, physically, mentally, you will not be able to grow and aspire to the higher echelons of where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects us to be. Being independent does not mean that you hate men. Understanding that when people let you down, you have a responsibility towards yourself to ensure that you are not bitten by the same snake twice. When you feel like you're at a loss in life, things are being taken away from you, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's divine plan to detach you from planet Earth. And the more detached you are from these worldly elements and this what I think I should have, this entitlement factor, because we are very emotionally driven creatures. And certain things we feel entitled to. But you soon come to realize no matter how entitled I felt to my dad's protection, attention, love and guidance, I still didn't get it. And that is absolutely fine, because it is in the lack and the loss of things in life that you truly get to see Allah. You will not get to see the fascinations of this universe without going into the depths of emotional hell that is here on earth. You will not be able to aspire to the hikmah, to the wisdom, to the dimensions of life. You will not be able to be brave enough to enter your next war zone if you are not prepared in the art of war. So any time you feel, specifically as a woman who might have been or who has been abandoned by her father, you have been abandoned by a flawed human being. They are also being tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the same time as we are. They will answer for their behavior and their decisions separately to what you answer for your behavior and your decisions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly stated he loves you 70 or 700, depending on where you get your references from, times more than your parents. What does that mean? That means that somebody making certain decisions in their life doesn't mean there's a lack of love for you. It means they're going through their own tribulations. And we have an entity, a grand king of kings that is controlling this whole universe, that cares for you more than that person. So many times more that you can't even fathom. And he is trying to train you through this mission of life. And it's our job, your job, to balance our behavior, increase our knowledge in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually wants from us, and rip away the cultural parameters that make you feel that you're at a loss because you were left by someone. That someone is not where you are going to end up at the end. When you're laying in your grave and you have a full rumination of everything that's happened to you on this earth, they will also have the same. So let them carry their responsibilities and you carry yours. And realize that your qawam is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that inevitably makes you unstoppable.